Let's talk about hockey, Mario. We got a few series to talk about. You know what I mean? Go Bruins. They're facing the Capitals. Game 3 going to Boston. You already know how it be. Um, but we also got to talk about other series such as the Islanders and Penguins, the Lightning and Panthers, the Wild and Golden Knights, the Predators and Hurricanes, and the Blues and Avalanche. Let's start with the Capitals and Bruins, Mario. Okay, because this series is not disappointing. At least for me, that is. You know, I enjoy what I'm seeing. Um, One thing I absolutely love about the Boston Bruins is how aggressive they are. You know, with the first couple of games so far, they've scored their very first point within the first 5 minutes of the game. So they're very, very aggressive, and I absolutely love that. You know, in the beginning of the season, the Bruins weren't really that, but as the season started picking up, the Bruins became a lot more aggressive. And ever since we got Taylor Hall, we've absolutely lit the league up like crazy, and I absolutely love to see that out of the Boston Bruins. And by the way, Taylor Hall is doing a great job with Boston too in the playoffs. I think he's already scored like a goal or two, so he's doing a really, really good job with the Boston Bruins. Um, you know, obviously we lost game 1 of the series in overtime, but we ended up winning in game 2 in overtime. So both games have gone to overtime, and I'm telling you right now, Mario, the series is very, very exciting. It's living up to its hype. It's living up to the potential, and it's heading back to Boston, Mario. You already know how Boston is, especially with the fans in TD Garden. You already know how it be. So, you know, shout out to all my Boston Bruins fans. Shout out to the 617. You already know how it be. Um, one concern I have for the Boston Bruins is, of course, overtime. You know, in the regular season, you know, they weren't great in overtime. I can't remember how many games they won in overtime. It wasn't that many because they're just not. They're not a team that wins in overtime. Let's just say that. But they capitalized last night. They won in overtime, and within the first 39 seconds, Brad Marchand closed the door in Washington, so they're heading back to Boston now. And overall, Mario, I'm very, very excited to see what the Boston Bruins have in stock. You know, they need to keep that aggressive play style. They need to keep that defense up because both teams are very, very defensive. And the Capitals are a very, very tough team, Mario. You know, they're one of the best teams in the league, up there with the Bruins, of course. They're up there with the Penguins and the Islanders. Help me out here, Mario. They're up there with the Lightning and the Panthers. You know, they're two great teams. The Golden Knights and Avalanche. They're up there. You know, they're a very, very good team. Ever since they won the Stanley Cup, they've been a very consistent team, making the playoffs every year. So, you know, I hope the Bruins can capitalize. You know, they're going back to Boston home, so you know, hopefully you guys can win the next 3 games. And yeah, just go to the damn Stanley Cup and win it for us, please. I like to see that. But with that being said, you know, I wish my Boston Bruins the very best of luck coming back to Boston. Um, Same thing with the Capitals, not too much luck because you're stepping into the big city here in New England. You already know how it be. So watch out. We coming back. You know what I mean? But look, from an analytics standpoint, best of luck to the Capitals. And I want to hear what you have to say, Mario.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the series has lived up to the hype. Obviously, 2 games, 2 overtimes, and very, very close games as well. The first game, I felt like it was a little more defensive by both teams. Obviously, the first game, the Capitals ended up winning in overtime. That's just the way it goes, Nate. Like you said, that was a concern that you had for the Boston Bruins is that they don't finish in overtime. But that first game, it was a very good game. Both goalies did absolutely great. Well, 3 goalies because the Capitals used 2 goalies, but they did a good job. The first game, Tuukka Rask, he did a pretty great job with keeping the lead, or keeping the game at distance. He had 29 out of 32 saves. So when you're ready to look at it, Tuukka Rask did a good job. It just came to overtime, and it didn't go in his favor. And then you go to the Capitals. Vanacek ended up leaving, which left Craig Anderson to come back in, and he had 21 saves out of 22 attempts, and that is a percentage of 95.5. So he did a good job as well. So I got to give him a lot of credit in that first game. As for the second game, Nate, the second game, again, it was honestly nothing really changed except for the fact there was a little more offense, and the Bruins were just able to capitalize in overtime. When you look at those stats right there, Bergeron, he scored another goal. That's 2 goals he has in this playoff series. DeBrus scored another goal. That's 2 goals he has in this playoff series. Taylor Hall has a goal. That is the first goal of this playoff series. And Brad Marchand. Brad Marchand ended up, Marchand was a big, big factor in the reason why the Bruins were winning, And I got to also give credit to one more guy, too. I got to give credit to McAvoy. McAvoy has been doing a great job on defense. He's kind of been that enforcer, making sure making sure Capitals guys are in check and everything like that. So I got to give him a lot of credit. Overall, this has been a good series. Game two, Tuukka Rask did better than what he did game one. He had 36 out of 39 with a save percentage of .923. And then you go to the Capitals, Craig Anderson, he saved 44 out of 48 goals, which is a percentage of 91 or .917. So when you look at it, the goalies have been great this game, these series. They've been great. And honestly, I feel like this is the way the series is going to be for the whole rest of the series, unless the Bruins can somehow take control in Boston. But it looks like the series is slowly turning to Boston. Now they're going back to TD Garden. And when you really think about it, Nate, the Bruins have to win that game. I feel like they have to win that game in order to control the series. Because if Washington wins in TD Garden, then it's back. Then again, I think it's back to square one. So I think Game 3 might be one of the most important games of the series. But honestly, Nate, this series is on pace to be what we predicted it to be, a Game 7 series. Now again, obviously from Game 3 to Game 7, it could change. Or even if it gets to Game 7. But so far, the series has definitely lived up to the hype. I think guys on both teams, they really are showing things. They really are stepping up, and they really are playing good. TJ Oshie is another good player on the Washington Capitals. He's been doing a great job. Hathaway had a big game in game 2. He had 2 goals for the Washington Capitals. So when you really think about it, Nate, this is a really good series. But coming into TD Garden, this is a big game for the Bruins and the Capitals, because this is probably going to determine who controls the series. And whoever wins in TD Garden, like for instance, if Washington wins in TD Garden, the Bruins got to give it back to them in Washington. It's just as simple as that, or else Washington is going to have whole control of this series. So with that being said, I wish both teams the best of luck. Obviously, I'm not a Bruins fan. My team's not in the playoffs, so I'm just watching as an NHL fan. So with that being said, best of luck to the Bruins and Capitals. And so far, it's been a great series.
Absolutely. I can't wait for Game 3. I'm pretty sure that's tomorrow. I could be wrong, Mario. You want to look that up for me? I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow.
Yeah, Game 3 is tomorrow at 6:30.
All right, yeah, and it's in Boston and TD Garden, like you said. So go Bees. That's what we do. Let's talk about the next series, Mario. Let's talk about the Islanders and Penguins. This was another series that started off in overtime. I believe the score at the end was 4-3. Was it?
Yes. Yeah, 4-3.
4-3. Yeah. So this game was really good too, Mario. It was more of a back and forth then. So basically similar to the Bruins and Capitals in their first couple of games. It was a back and forth thing going on. But eventually, the Islanders broke through and they won in overtime. So, I feel like this is going to be relatively similar to the Bruins and Capitals. I think it's going to be a back and forth, because we also predicted the series going to 7 games, but we predicted the Islanders to win. But yeah, overall, Mario, it was in Pittsburgh. Game 2 is also in Pittsburgh before they go back to New York. It's going to be a really good series. They play tonight at 7:30. So, make sure you tune in out if you're an Islanders or Penguins fan, or if you just want to watch it in general. It'll be on NBC, basically like every other playoff game. But other than that, Mario, I got nothing else to say about them. Overall, it was a great game. The Penguins need to bounce back, especially knowing that they're in Pittsburgh. They need to kind of hype up the home crowd. But yeah, other than that, it's basically similar to the Capitals and Bruins. They're back and forth. They got great defense. They got great goaltending, great offense. It's just, at the end of the day, who was the better team in overtime, and the Islanders were just a better team in overtime. So, with that being said, again, best of luck to those teams. Not too much luck, because you're in the Bruins division. So that's our division. So, but as an analytics standpoint, best of luck to them. And, I can't wait to watch that game tonight.
Yeah, when I saw the Islanders and the Penguins series, Nate, there's 2 stars on the Islanders that really made a big difference. And those guys were Palmieri, and there was Sorokin, the goalie. The goalie Sorokin, and then Palmieri. Palmieri had 2 goals in that game, and that was very important. I'm pretty sure he had the game-winning goal in overtime as well. So shout out to Palmieri. He did a great job. And Sorokin, even though he let go of 3 goals, when it came to it, he came in clutch. He was a clutch goalie, and he really stepped up, came in clutch, and he ended up keeping the game kind of tied for the Islanders and Penguins for as long as it was tied until the Islanders ended up scoring that last goal. But Pajot also had a goal for the Islanders. Now you go to the Penguins. Sidney Crosby had a goal, which isn't surprising. It's Sidney Crosby, and Gaudreau also had a goal as well. And then Kapanen, he also had a goal as well. So the Penguins did a good job, Nate. It's not that they didn't, but again, at the end of the day, it comes to overtime, and in overtime, it was to the Islanders. Going to the goalies, Jerry for the Pittsburgh Penguins, he saved 37 out of 41. That is a percentage of .902. And then you go to Sorokin. As I mentioned, Sorokin saved 39 out of 42, which is a percentage of .928. So Sorokin really did come in clutch. He really did. He let go of some goals, and obviously goalies are going to let go of goals. It's just part of the game. But when it came to clutch time, and when it came down to the last wire, Sorokin came in clutch, and he kept that game, even for the Islanders until the Islanders ended up winning the game. So I'd probably say this: if the Penguins want to bounce back, I say you gotta score. You gotta do better on offense. That's what I say. You gotta do better on offense, and you can't let these guys like Palmieri, and you can't let Pajot, and you can't let these guys just keep scoring goals on you. You can't let it happen. It's just, again, it's unnecessary. You can't. So to Jerry, again, he's just got to step up as a goalie. He's got to, defense wise, they got to play better. They got to stop those scorers from getting to their goalie. And as for the Islanders, as for Sorokin, keep doing what you're doing. But I'd say this for the Islanders, I say I think some more guys need to get involved. Palmieri had 2 goals, which is great. Pajot had a goal, and also Nelson as well. Brock Nelson, he had a goal as well. But I think more guys need to step up, because again, Palmieri isn't going to be promising you 2 goals a game. So with that being said, I wish the Islanders and the Penguins the best of luck. The Penguins, obviously, they got a talented team as well as the Islanders, but again, it's all going to come down. It's all going to come down to who plays better on offense and which team is going to really pick it up on defense. Last game, the Penguins didn't really pick it up on defense. The Islanders were clutch on defense when it mattered, and that's what got them the win. So at the end of the day, if this ever came back to overtime for game 2, the Penguins need to step up. They need to clutch up just like Sorokin did. And who knows what's going to happen in game 2? That game is today. We'll find out. But with that being said, I wish both teams the best of luck.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the next series, and that's the Lightning and the Panthers. That was a really good game too, Mario. It was going back and forth, but unlike the other 2 games that we mentioned, this one did not go to overtime. So, and there was a lot of games this weekend that went to overtime. So it's overtime heavy playoffs as far as we're seeing right now. But the Lightning won this game 5-4, I believe it was.
Yeah,
it was 5-4, correct? Yes. Yeah. So let me tell you, Mario. Okay. Obviously I said the Lightning in 7 because the Panthers are a very, very tough team. And it was on full display. It was on full display the other night, Mario. They gave the Lightning a very hard time, but like all champions should, the Lightning prevailed and they ended up winning that game. But like I said, unlike the other 3 games that we talked about, this one didn't go to overtime. They didn't need that. So not really much else to mention because it's relatively similar to the other 2 series so far. Both teams are just back and forth, great goaltending, great offense, great defense. So that game is also today. It's on at 8:00. So and it's in Florida. I actually can't even remember where the Florida Panthers live. They where they play. It's somewhere down in South Florida. But correct me. Let me know down in the comments down below. I actually don't even remember where they play. But game 3 is going to be going back to Tampa Bay. So I do wish those teams the best of luck. Not too much luck because I want the Lightning to face the Bruins. I want that damn revenge, Mario, from that loss last year. I don't want to talk about it. But look, best of luck to both teams. They had a great game a couple nights ago. Hopefully they can do that again today, and we'll just see what happens moving forward, Mario.
Yeah, this game was pretty interesting too. And I talked about Vasilevsky, and I thought the website said Bobrovsky wasn't going to start, but he ended up starting. And I always love it when Vasilevsky and Bobrovsky start. I feel like those 2 are really rival goalies in this league. I truly believe that. And obviously there's a mutual respect between both of them, but I just feel like they really are rival goalies in this league. But when you look at them, let me tell you something, Nate. Vasilevsky, he had 35 saves for 39 attempts, which is a percentage of .897, which isn't bad, but it could have been a lot better. However, Bobrovsky, dude, let me tell you something. Bobrovsky was getting owned this game. He was getting absolutely smacked around. And I'm going to be honest, not all of it's his fault. We got to put a little bit of blame on the defense as well. But let me tell you something, dude. The Lightning came in there, and two guys really brought it to Bobrovsky. Two guys, okay? Obviously, Coleman had a goal. Blake Coleman, he had a goal. But let me tell you something. Sergei Bobrovsky in that Florida Panthers defense, I don't think they did a good job. I really don't. Sergei Bobrovsky had a couple good saves, but as far as like an overall performance, I give him like a C. It wasn't that great. Nikita Kucherov, dude, scored 2 goals on him, and then Braden Point scored 2 goals on him. And both of them did it. It was Kucherov, and then it was Point. And Braden Point scored the last goal on him with like a minute and like 15 seconds left in the third period. If I'm that Florida Panthers defense, you got to give more help to Bobrovsky. And if I'm Sergei Bobrovsky, you gotta protect that net better. It's as simple as that. And don't get me wrong, Bobrovsky is a premier goalie. Same thing with Vasilevsky. But this game, I just didn't feel like they had their best performance. Both of them. I just didn't feel like they lived up to that hype. Now here's the thing. If one of them were to clutch up, like if Vasilevsky were to have a night or Bobrovsky were to have a night, those goalies, I think, the other goalie, I think, would have had it would have looked even worse for them. But because both goalies didn't like live up to the type of goalies that they are, I think it was just both disappointing performances by both goalies. And as for the defenses, Florida Panthers defense has to get better. You cannot let Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov score 2 goals. And you can't let it happen. Okay. Games cannot keep going to 5 goals. They can't. I could understand if this was an overtime game and it got to 5 goals. This was 3 periods, and you let Nikita Kucherov score 2 goals, and then you let Braden Point score 2 goals. Like, those are 2 of their best scorers right there. You should lock them up. It's as simple as that. When the Blue Jackets swept them, Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point barely got any scores. They barely had any. You have to lock those guys up. Those guys are basically the backbone of that offense. You have to lock them up. It's just as simple as that. And Florida Panthers didn't do it. As for the Lightning did a decent job, but they could have did a lot better too. So if I'm looking at game 2, Florida Panthers defense has to be better for them to win. And if I'm the Lightning, you have to do a better job on defense. It's the same thing. You have to do a better job on defense, but not only that, other guys have to get involved. I can't rely on Kucherov and Braden Point to score 2 goals a game. Other guys have to get involved, and they have to play. So with that being said, again, I wish the Panthers and I wish the Lightning the best of luck. Again, I'm not a fan of anybody really in this series. I'm just here to watch great hockey. If I was, I'd probably pick the Vegas Knights because I do like them. But with that being said, I wish the Lightning and the Panthers the best of luck. And I think defense was a big part of kind of a disappointing defensive series. So I think if the defense can really clutch up and they keep that offense and more guys get involved, I think we're in for a pretty exciting series.
Right, absolutely. Let's go to the next one, okay? Because this is definitely one I want to talk about, and that's the Wild and Golden Knights, okay? And I actually watched. This was one of the few games I actually watched over the weekend. Wild ended up winning this game 1-0. Let me tell you something, okay? Marc-Andre Fleury obviously did a great job. Again, this was another overtime game, so it really all came down to who was going to score first. So. Like you said, if it was 3 periods, you got to be all right. You got to step up. But this went to overtime. So, but here's the thing, okay? The Golden Knights offense needs to step up. The defense was great on both sides. Great, absolutely great. You only let them score 1 goal, but that's the problem. You didn't score a goal, and you're apparently the best team in this playoff right now, or at least one of the best teams that is. So. My problem with the Golden Knights right now, very, very experienced team, very talented squad. You need to score a damn goal, and you need to take control of the series. You're in Las Vegas, all right? Game 2 is in Las Vegas. That one also starts tonight. I believe it's at 10 o'clock. It's at 9:30, so it's on at 9:30 tonight in Las Vegas on tonight. But my problem with the Vegas Golden Knights is defense is there, absolutely. Most definitely there. This game was scoreless for the longest time. So I do commend them on that. It's the offense I'm scared about right now. They need to step it up on offense. You know what I mean? So as for the Wild, they did a great job of capitalizing in overtime. They won the game 1-0. So it was definitely a game that had a lot of people on their toes because again, it was a scoreless game for the longest time. So again, great defense in this game. Offense could have been a lot better, especially on both sides. You know, the Wild's offense wasn't that great. Same thing with the Golden Knights. Their offense wasn't that great. It's basically the exact opposite of what you were talking about with the Lightning and Panthers. How they didn't have good defense, but their offense was there. You know, it's the exact opposite. Their defense was there. The offense just was not there at all. So the Golden Knights need to step up, and that's a priority for them. So, with that being said, you know, best of luck to the Wild and Golden Knights in this series. Offense needs to prevail in this because from Sunday's game, it was non-existent. It just was not there. So they need to prevail on that. They need to figure it out. So I wish them the best of luck with that, and we'll just see what happens.
I'm gonna say this one more time, okay? And I've said it before, Nate. I'm gonna say this one more time. I love Marc-Andre Fleury. Like that man. Look at the saves he was making in that game. I know they didn't win. I know he let go of the game-winning goal. Look at the saves this man was making in that game. This guy did not let go of a single inch, okay, until that last shot in overtime. Now, again, if I'm going to give credit to Marc-Andre Fleury, I got to give credit to Talbot. Oh my God, he played great. That goalie did amazing. First of all, he had 42 shots on him, and he saved all 42. If that's not a good goalie performance, I don't know what is. I think whenever there's 40 shots on you and you save probably all 40 shots, that is an A+ performance. It's an A+ performance, no doubt about it. And the thing is, Vegas Knights, they had so many opportunities to get that goal, and Talbot just stopped them in their tracks. And the same thing with the Wild. The Wild had some really good opportunities, some easy looks. And Marc-Andre Fleury just made incredible plays to make it not so easy. Like when like when you see hockey, you see like a nice little opening, and you're like, wow, this is about to be a goal. Marc-Andre Fleury said, not today, sir. And he just pulled all the tricks in the book to save those goals. Talbot, on the other hand, they were coming on him. They both had great goalie performances, but it was different. Andre Fleury was making the incredible saves, like the ooh-ah plays. Talbot was making the saves that were really them coming on him. Like they were on Talbot. Like they were on Talbot. They were right near him. And he just made the great plays. They were right near him. They were surrounding him. They were basically swarming Talbot, and Talbot just found ways to make the saves, and despite all the players surrounding him, he was just able to keep making saves. As for Andre Fleury, his saves were more of, it's like a 2-on-1, and it looks like an opening, but Marc-Andre Fleury does some type of stretch to save the goal. With Talbot, it was, okay, there's like 5 guys trying to score on me, but yet somehow I'm still saving this puck and they're not going to hit it. But let me tell you something. Marc-Andre Fleury, he saved 29 out of 30 goals. Talbot saved 42 out of 42. So when you look at it, Nate, both goalies did absolutely tremendous, and the defenses were great. But there were times on offense where teams had an easy look to score, and they just couldn't do it. Now, I'm going to definitely see this series being a defensive series, but you got to be a little bit better on offense. All the Vegas Knights had to do was score 1 goal, Nate. 1 goal. That's all they had to do for this guy. Marc-Andre Fleury, if they scored 1 goal, Marc-Andre Fleury, I think, would have been MVP of this game. That's it. That's really all you had to do. But Talbot, I got to give him a lot of credit. He played an amazing, amazing game as a goalie. This man didn't let go of a single inch, and I got to give him a lot of credit for that. Marc-Andre Fleury, he did a really, really good job until that overtime. And in overtime, they scored on him, and that was that. But look, offense has to be better for this series. It cannot be like this. And I know defense is really going to be prevailing, but you got to be a little bit better on offense. Leaders got to step up and do what they got to do. The goal for Minnesota Wild, it was scored by Eriksson Ek. He scored that goal, but other than that, offensively, it wasn't a great series. Defensively, they really did step up. But you find those looks, Nate, you have to take advantage of it. You have an opportunity, you got to take advantage of it. And that's just something on offense that neither team was doing until the Minnesota Wild did it in overtime. So with that being said, I wish both teams the best of luck. If I had to root for any team in this Stanley Cup playoffs, it'd probably be the Golden Knights. So with that being said, both teams got to step it up on offense. And again, congratulations to the goalies. They performed very, very well. Both of them have nothing to be ashamed about. And game 2, like you said, it's going to be in Vegas, correct?
Correct. It's going to be on tonight at 9:30 in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. So make sure you go check that game out.
It's the perfect time for the Knights to even this thing up and kind of gain a little bit of momentum heading into Minnesota after that.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the last two series right here. These are series we never really got to touch up on. So we will touch up on them now while we still can. I want to talk about the Predators and Hurricanes game that started yesterday. This was game one. The Hurricanes won 5-2. Let me tell you something, okay, Mario? At first, I thought this was going to be a back and forth game because in the first, this was another game that I watched in between periods between the Bruins and Capitals. So I did see this game a little bit. It was a back and forth game. The Predators were actually on the Hurricanes, tails in the first couple of periods. But then the Hurricanes just blew it open and said, nah, that's not going to happen anymore. So I commend the Hurricanes for stepping up on offense. As for the series itself, because again, we didn't really touch up on this series like we did with the other ones so far. I got the Hurricanes winning this in 5. I think they'll lose one game before they advance. I'll be honest with you. I was thinking sweep, but I think the Predators will at least win one game, and that's all I'll give them. Because again, in the beginning, the Predators' offense and defense was doing a really good job. They were keeping it close, but then after that, after that third goal from the Hurricanes, it was just nothing but blowout from there. The defense didn't show up, the offense didn't show up, so that's something the Predators are going to have to figure out. As for the Hurricanes, it's the exact opposite. They did a really great job on offense, did a really great job on defense. And this was a team I didn't expect to be good this year, Mario. They were just like the Penguins. They weren't that great in the beginning, and then they started to pick it up, and they became a really, really good team. So same thing with the Predators, but the Predators just didn't do it on the scale as the Hurricanes and the Penguins. So as of right now, the way it's looking, Mario, it's the Predators need to do a better job on offense and on defense. And if that doesn't happen, then maybe the Hurricanes can go for a sweep. I can see that happening. But as of right now, I got the Hurricanes winning the series in 5 games. But as for the Hurricanes, best of luck to them. Same thing with the Predators. They got to go back to the drawing board. They got to figure out what's going on here. They need to play better against the Hurricanes too. I think their next game's on Thursday. It's Thursday at 8. So they need to, they're still in on the PNC Arena in Carolina. So they need to figure this out, So with that being said, best of luck to both teams in this series. And I'll pass on to you.
Yeah, let's talk about Jordan Stahl for a minute. Okay. Jordan Stahl did an amazing job in that game. He really did. That's what you need out of your captain right there. Okay, because when the game was somewhat even for a little bit of the time, Jordan Stahl really did shift that momentum to the Hurricanes. So I got to give a lot of credit to Jordan Stahl. He did a great job in this game. And then other guys who did a great job as well. And I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher these names, but these are very, very complicated names to pronounce. Niederreiter, he ended up scoring a goal. Svechnikov, he ended up scoring a goal. I'm sorry. And then Teravainen, he ended up scoring a goal as well. But let me tell you something. Oh, and Pesce as well. Brett Pesce, he had 2 assists, so I got to give him credit too. He really was a big part of them scoring the goals and assisting them. So, but Jordan Stahl, man, that's exactly what you want out of a captain, is a guy who is able to take momentum and just bring it to a team. And Jordan Stahl did that game, Again, the defense for the Nashville Predators, it just wasn't good last game. They, what I'm saying, they let go of 5 goals. And Soros did look promising for the first 2 periods, but then after that, it just fell apart from there. It just fell apart from there. He looked good, Soros, for the first part, but then it just fell apart from there. And then as for the goalie for the Hurricanes, he did a very, very good job as well. First period, it looked like he was going to have some trouble, but he did a good job. And his name is Nedjikovic. My bad, Nedjikovic. I'm sorry. He saved 22 out of 24, which is a percentage of .917. And for the Predators goalie, Saros, he saved 33 out of 37, which is a percentage of .892. So when you look at it, Nate, I think that if I'm Nashville coming into this game, obviously you got to play better defense. But if I'm looking at Soros, and if I'm Soros, I got to say to myself, I got to keep that mentality for all 3 periods, because I cannot let this game blow away from us, Jordan Stahl, again, this is what I'm saying. When you have a star player on your team, you got to lock down the star player. It's as simple as that. Because here's the thing. Jordan Stahl is the captain, right? That is the leader of that team. You get rid of the captain, It's like taking a head off of a beast. A beast can't do anything without their head. You take off the head, the body comes with it. Jordan Stahl, let's suppose the Hurricanes are this beast, okay? Jordan Stahl is the head. You take away the head, and the body will fall with it. So if I'm the Predators, the one thing I'm looking at is I am locking down Jordan Stahl for next game. I am locking him down, and I'm relying on other players to score. Now, again, he scored 2 goals. Take away those 2 goals, that's a 3-2 game. If Soros makes a little more saves than what he did, Nashville has that game. But if I'm the Predators for the rest of the series, I am taking away Jordan Stahl as much as I can. I'm giving him as hard as the time as I could, and I'm relying on somebody else on that Hurricanes team to score. It's just as simple as that. And then for Nashville, play better on defense. It's as simple as that. And Nashville could end up winning this series. I'm not taking Nashville out. Do I think Jordan Stahl will have like a clutch game? Yeah, I think if you're asking me, I got Hurricanes in 6. Okay. They're obviously, I believe, they're going to be playing in Carolina?
Correct. Game 2's in Carolina.
Okay, so they're going to be playing game 2 in Carolina. That is a game that Nashville needs to win. Because if Carolina takes a 2-0 series, takes a 2-0 lead in Carolina, and they get one game in Nashville, it's not looking good for them. Nashville. So Nashville needs to take a game in Carolina, and then they need to take advantage of the series continuing in Nashville. But the one thing I am doing is I am locking down Jordan Stahl, and I'm letting other guys on that team take a chance at scoring. Simple as that. Because if the captain keeps getting momentum like that, they're not going to win.
Absolutely.
And as for defense, the Nashville Predators, they got to play better defensively. If I'm the Hurricanes, keep creating plays to get Jordan Stahl open. It's a complete opposite. Keep creating plays to get Jordan Stahl open. Jordan Stahl gets open, ends up creating more plays, ends up shifting momentum towards the Carolina Hurricanes. And then there you go. You got a great series. Now, obviously, I'm not expecting Jordan Stahl to score 2 goals a night. No, but if he gets a goal and an assist, Jordan Stahl's still part of the momentum shift. So as for the Hurricanes, keep doing what you're doing. You did a good job last game, and continue it throughout the series. But with that being said, I wish the Predators and I wish the Hurricanes the absolute best of luck, and we'll see what happens.
Right, and let's talk about the last series that started yesterday, and that is the Blues and the President's Trophy winner, Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche absolutely dominated this game, and this was the other game that I watched a little bit of. I watched like the first period and then the half of the second, so I didn't watch it all, but I did watch the highlights. The Blues were they didn't show up, Mario. And we've seen them in this position before a couple of years back when the year they won the Stanley Cup. A lot of people didn't think they were going to win the Stanley Cup. Well, actually, let me reverse myself. A lot of people didn't even think they were going to go there, let alone even win it. You know what I mean? Because that year they at the beginning they were very, very bad. They were a last place team in the entire league, and all of a sudden they come out of nowhere and they win the Stanley Cup against the Boston Bruins. So we've seen them in this place before, but I'm going to be honest with you, Mario, it's different. Right now, it's different. The Blues just did not show up. And I honestly thought that this was a series in which the Blues were going to give the Avalanche a hard time. I really do believe that they were going to give them a hard time, and nothing was going good for them. Offense was not there. Defense was not there. Nothing was there for them, Mario. As for the Avalanche, it's the complete opposite. They absolutely dominated in every part of the game. Defensively, offensively, goaltending was absolutely incredible. And I'm going to be honest with you, Mario, this is going to be a sweep. The Avalanche are going to sweep the series. I really do believe that. Unless if the Blues can figure something out. We've seen the Blues in this position before, and they can figure it out. I'm not going to count them out, but if they continue to play like this, Mario, this is a sweep. And that's why I believe it's going to be a sweep, because they just did not show up. And the Blues are kind of a last-minute playoff team, so not a lot of people expect a lot out of them. But I will say this: don't count them out just yet. Even though I'm saying they're going to get swept, I could be wrong about that. I'm not going to count them out just yet, but it's just not looking good for the Blues. But like you said about the Predators, they need to do better on defense. They need to do better on offense, because they're in Colorado. They're in the Pepsi Center right now. So when this series goes back to St. Louis, you got to be prepared to play in front of that crowd and do a better job. You know what I mean? Like you said about the Predators, you don't want to be going back to your hometown down 2-0, because then it's just not going to look good from there. The other team is just going to take command of the series. So if I'm the Blues, I need to really go to the drawing board. I'm really going to be watching this team, and I want to be watching film because this is the President's Trophy team. This is the number one team in the league. That's that. You're playing the number one team in the league. You need to figure this out. You know what I mean? So again, the Blues need to go to the drawing board. They need to look at it long and hard. They need to give this team a very, very tough time because the Avalanche are a very, very tough team. So, but if they can't do that, then again, I just can't see them winning a playoff game. So, with that being said, best of luck to the Avalanche and the Blues. Avalanche absolutely amazing job that yesterday. They play on Thursday at, I believe it's 10:30. Yeah, 10:30. They play Thursday at 10:30 against the Blues in the Pepsi Center. So I do wish both teams the best of luck. Mario, we'll just see what happens moving forward.
Look, a little bit of bad news for the Lightning. They're still the only President's Trophy winner to get swept. Okay, because the Avalanche won a game. All right, but let's get to it though. Okay, first of all, before I get to the Avalanche, I just want to say Jordan Binnington is such a good goalie. Such a good goalie, man. Let me tell you something.
Absolutely.
This man had 49 shots against him. Saved 46. Well, what else do you want your goalie to do? There is no need for your goalie to have 49 shots on him. There's no need for it. But despite all that, Jordan Binnington saved 46 of them. And if you're wondering what his 4 goals, it's because they emptied out the net and then the Avalanche ended up scoring because they got the puck and ended up just scoring into the empty.
The Blues always had a really good goalie.
Absolutely. Jordan Binnington is, again, I put him in that conversation with Andrei Vasilevsky. I put him in that conversation with Tuukka Rask. I put him in that conversation with Bobrovsky when Bobrovsky is on. I put him in that conversation with the elite goalies in this game with Marc-Andre Fleury. I put him in that category because that's where he is, in that category. Okay, Jordan Binnington is a great goalie, but the defense has to be better for the Blues. Okay, you could point to the offense. I think the defense is the number one thing because Jordan Binnington can't keep having 49 shots against them. If you're gonna let 49 shots go against your goalie, you better get 49 shots back to the other team. But let me tell you something, Nate. Take a guess how many shots that the goalie for the Avalanche had to block.
Probably a little over 40.
Nah, try 23.
Wow.
Okay, the goalie for the Avalanche. I gotta give him credit too. Grubauer, he saved 22 out of 23. That's it. 23 shots, Nate. 23 shots. So you're gonna let go of 49 on your goalie, but you're gonna shoot 23. Be more, if you're gonna have that bad of a defensive game, be more aggressive offensively. They just weren't aggressive offensively. Now going to the Avalanche, one guy I want to point to. I'm going to say this guy is the MVP. Let's talk about Nate McKinnon. What a beast! What a beast! I'm sorry. Like I said, I talked about it with the Carolina Hurricane. I'm going to say it with the Avalanche. That is the head of the beast. You stop him and you force somebody else to score. However, there are guys in this game because everybody really contributed. Despite the 2 goals by McKinnon, everybody really did contribute on the Avalanche. Landeskog, he had 1 goal and 2 assists, so credit to him. Rantanen, he had 2 assists, so credit to him as well. Gerard, he had an assist, and then Makar also had a goal. So when you look at it, Nate, there are a lot of guys on the Avalanche did step up in this game, and they did a great job as a team, not only protecting their goalie, but also scoring. And that is something completely opposite of what the Blues did. Now, I'm not going to say it's a sweep, okay? I think Binnington's just too good of a goalie for it to be a sweep. I think if the Blues play a little bit better defense and a little bit better offense, I think they can win a game. I'm going to go Avalanche in 5 because I think the Blues can win. I think the Blues can win a game. I can't see Binnington getting swept. I just can't see it. I think he's too premier of a goalie to do that. But if he's going to keep having 49 shots against them, then yeah, it's going to be a problem, Nate. Okay, like that's how you know the defense was bad when your goalie had to save 46 out of 49 shots. So I got to give Binnington a lot of credit. I cannot trash that man. He did a great job. And the saves he was making, they were great saves as well. So I got to give him a lot of credit. Just, again, offensively, the Blues were terrible. And defensively, they were even worse. So this next game is going to be in Colorado still, correct?
Yes, game 2 is on for the Blues and Avalanche tomorrow at 10:30 in the Pepsi Center in Denver. So they need to figure something out, Mario.
Right. They gotta. And I mean, you can't keep putting Bennington through that type of thing. So I say the number one thing is making sure defensively you play better, and you just can't let Nate McKinnon get 2 goals and assists. I'm sorry, you gotta take him out of the equation. Okay, when we're okay, this is the way I like to compare. Okay, this is an equation. Okay, when you're doing math, right? And there is that one, and you're doing math and you get the answer wrong, and you're trying to figure out what part of the equation is missing. That's what this is. Make the Colorado Avalanche think. Okay, Nate McKinnon is the key factor to making this equation correct. Take out Nate McKinnon and make them think of a way that they can make this equation correct without him. It's just as simple as that. You have a star player. You know there's a star player on this team. Lock him down. Simple as that. But with that being said, I wish the Avalanche and the Blues the best of luck. I'm kind of rooting for the Blues to win this series. I really am. But again, they're the President's Trophy winner. Most likely the Avalanche is going to come out of this. I'm going to say 5 games, okay? I'd be surprised if this gets to 6. But I just can't see the Blues and Bennington getting swept. I could see them winning 1 game, but they better figure something out because if they can't win in Colorado, I think I'm calling it a wrap.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's all the series that we've got so far. I believe there's a couple of them that start tomorrow. Let me just check real quick. I'm pretty sure there is. I know the Maple Leafs and Jets. I think they're playing. No, it's the Maple Leafs and Canadiens. My bad. They play on Thursday. And the next series to start tomorrow is the Jets and Oilers. That's what I meant to say. So we'll talk about those when the time comes. But as of right now, we basically cover what's happened so far. So with that being said, to all the teams playing in the playoffs, best of luck to you guys, and can't wait to see more games this playoffs.